Bonjour à toutes et à tous, bienvenue pour ce séminaire portant sur les processus de mutation des droits fondamentaux et des systèmes juridiques, ligne 1, et plus spécifiquement sur une étude comparée franco-brésilien sur le devoir de non-régression sur l'environnement au Brésil et le droit des générations futures. Je suis Mélie Gaillard, la coordinatrice générale de la chaire d'excellence Normandie pour la paix, et nous avons l'immense plaisir aujourd'hui de laisser l'animation entière de cet événement entre les mains de Danielle Galvao, qui nous a fait l'immense honneur d'être doctorante invitée au sein de la chaire d'excellence Normandie pour la paix durant 4 mois. Danielle Galvao est actuellement doctorante à l'université de Coimbra sous la direction du professeur Alexandra Aragao. Et nous la suivions très chaleureusement depuis la Normandie. Alors, désormais, nous avons quelques éléments de progression. Je rebondirai au gré des présentations. Et Daniel, je ne tarde pas et je vous donne immédiatement la parole car ce webinaire est le vôtre. Merci infiniment de l'avoir mis en place. C'est à vous.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Gaillard. So we changed to English. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to have you all today here for this Franco-Brazilian colloquium on the Dutch of non-regression in environmental law in Brazil and the right of future generations, organized by the Normandy Chair for Peace in partnership with the Just Climate Research Group of the Federal University of Mato Grosso, the Institute for Legal Research of the University of Coimbra, and the International Center for Comparative Environmental Law, and the Law for a Green Planet Institute. So this event is linked to the NCP's research line on process of change of fundamental rights and legal systems, and marks the conclusion of a doctoral research period that I did here in France at Normandy Chair for Peace under the supervision of Madame Emily Gaillard. So just a quick introduction. The Normandy Chair for Peace is a CNRS Chair of Excellence funded by the Normandy region, which is based at the University of Caen at the Maison de la Recherche en Sciences Humaines. And intend to establish research of excellence for the dissemination of a culture of peace, protection of the rights of future generations and the environment in order to achieve peace. So with this scenario in perspective, the idea of organizing this webinar arose from the discussions around the judgment of the recent constitutional actions on environment and climate protection that have been taking place in Brazil, which essentially addresses the role of the state in the face of the duty to protect the environment and the climate and establish its environmental and climate policies on the grounds of the duty of non-regression and the right of future generations. So it is known that climate change has effects that are not limited to the local sphere and reach transnational dimensions and consequences for the entire planet. And in addition to the transboundary effects, there are also consequences that spread over time, affecting the rights of future generations. So protecting and promoting the climate and the environment also implies avoiding the rupture of commitments and obligations already assumed, as well as the regression to a level of protection already achieved. So in this sense, it is essential that discussions in court cases involving the duty to protect the environment and establish public policies are also approached from the perspective imposed by an era of a global climate crisis. So with this panorama in perspective, this colloquium on the duty of non-regression on the environment and the right of future generations aims to discuss how a set of constitutional actions on the environment that is being judged in Brazil can have repercussions on the international scene and affect the right of future generations to a stable climate by consolidating the duty of non-regression on the environment. So this webinar comes at a convenient moment to discuss the repercussions that decisions on environmental law and climate protection in Brazil will have at international level, especially in view of the recent decision of the Brazilian Supreme Court from last Friday, July 1st, regarding the Climate Fund, which sets up a fundamental precedent that reaffirms the right to a healthy environment. It is a constitutional duty, but giving it a climate perspective, which means the right to a healthy climate, especially in such a scenario of climate emergency. So, and all this has consequences for the well-being of future generations. And so for this is the big big perspective, that the context. So for this reflection today, we'll have the contribution of distinguished professors with whom I have had the honor of working with during my academic journey.